everyone, and welcome to the first episode of my series of the Road to 1% Mythic Plus Mount as a Discipline Priest. At the start of this run, I am sitting at 3667 IO, and my goal this season is to obviously push all the way to the top 1%, which is, as of recording this, around 3840 IO. Right now, I have 6 of the 8 dungeons completed at a plus 19, so we are definitely getting closer, but there is still plenty of work to do. I'll be uploading each of these runs as episodes so you can follow the entire journey from the successful keys to the messy ones, but each and every episode will be a timed run. Today's episode is going to be the first 19 that I timed, which is a Windrunner Spire. As we go through this dungeon, I'll be explaining my thought process, why I'm using certain cooldowns, how I'm planning my ramps, what I'm looking for on each pull, and any mistakes or adjustments I make along the way. If you're looking to push higher Mythic Plus keys yourself, I really hope these videos help you understand not just what I'm doing, but also why I'm doing it. And if you'd like to watch the climb live, I stream my progression on both Twitch and TikTok at around 6:30 p.m. CST Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, where you can hang out, ask questions, and watch these runs happen in real time. All right, with all that said, let's get started. All right, so we are starting off with these first couple of packs. Now, these first couple of packs, we have dispels that we really need to take care of. I believe the first dispels that go off, I tried to dispel one of them. And the next pack, or the next set of dispels, I will mass dispel. It helps immensely, especially I think there were 3 of them there. It helps you kind of get ahead of those dispels, and I don't think you get dispels for a while after that. Definitely kind of a sketchy little pull right there. A lot of us kind of dipped down. Thankfully the DH put his darkness down. More dispels are going out, so I dispel those when I can. Just be mindful of who has the dispel left. They do chunk your health, and thankfully our evoker uses his defensives there. And we kind of just blast through this first pack. Definitely want to use your evangelism there. Like I said, it definitely helps, and make sure to mass dispel. So moving on to the next pack. There is, we have more dispels here. DK kind of grips aggro, unfortunately. But just beware of the dispels here. They should be going out pretty soon. I'm trying not to use a lot of mana since we are going to be chaining this into another pack. But like I said, just keeping up with the dispels. Also, I will try to keep as many dots up on all these ads, and I do that by dotting everything and then penencing the enemy to spread those dots. You want to make sure you do that. If you didn't notice, our evoker almost died there. I PS'd him, and I had a Shadowman proc, thankfully. So there's that. This pull right here, we have the dispels and we have a poison. So it's very mindful that you keep a mind out for that. These are when the poison ads kind of get in. I don't know which ones they are, but I just know they're poison ads. um, so like I said, I'm trying not to use a lot of mana. I'm kind of getting low. I'm at like 30%, which is not ideal. I would be trying to keep up those dots. If you're like low on mana, I would say try to at least keep one or two dots up on one of these ads. But I think yeah, I will try to drink right here, because this next pack can get kind of spicy since we have more of those poisons coming out. They have to be mindful of, and obviously you can't dispel them. And then you have the normal dispels that you can dispel. Thankfully our Evoker used another defensive there. It was very close. Thankfully I had a Void Shield proc also. But you definitely want to make sure everybody's full HP when these pounces come up, because I think it's a bleed. No, it's not a bleed. I think it's just very powerful when he pounces on you, that lion. So just be wary of that. Keep the dispels going. Obviously, we got poisons happening. And I'm definitely running low on mana here. I PS'd myself there also, since I believe I had a poison on me and the pounce happen. Just gotta keep an eye on people and if they got the poison or if they got the pounce also. So I'm trying to get ahead here so I can drink. The more ahead I am, the better I feel drinking because then I can catch up to where the tank is. So I get a drink off, get to about 50% mana, um, and then I start dotting stuff up. I'm still trying to conserve mana because this is kind of a big pack here. Same with the next upcoming packs. But as long as you're spreading your dots, everything should be fine for the most part. You're gonna get Void Shield procs. But that's mainly what you want. You really want those Void Shield procs. That is what makes or breaks a pull, I feel. I mean, there's been so many close calls that I've had, and then I get a Void Shield proc, and I'm like, oh, we're saved. I wouldn't say it's like a Guardian Spirit if you play Holy Priest, but it's definitely a lifesaver. It saves a lot. It does a lot of atonement healing just for being up. It's literally one of the best things you got. Like obviously you want to keep Powered Shield up, but if you got a Void Shield, I would try to get the Void Shield. So we're going into these next ads. Still trying to conserve as much mana as possible. We're doing pretty good job. I will probably try to save evangelism for this next pack or the boss. I'm also gonna try to drink here before he pulls. Okay, I got a drink off, thankfully. Um, I did a run before this run with these same people, and I wasn't able to get a drink off before this boss. Thankfully this key was a Brazil, but yeah, I wasn't able to get a drink off, and the boss was very, very stressful. Now I also have a mana pot here that I can use. I don't have the max rank of the mana pots or the health pots, but I think either just having one definitely helps no matter what. I have the health pot macroed in with my desperate prayer. So when I press that desperate prayer, I'm potentially getting basically a full heal every 5 minutes if needed. And that can make or break it. So I have evangelism for this little intermission phase if I need, because there is a lot of AoE healing. I tend to kind of try not to use it unless I feel like I need it, and I press it there. The AoE damage kind of does ramp up, especially if you don't have any Void Shield procs. Like I didn't have any for a minute. It definitely took a while. So you really want to be mindful of where the tornadoes are also, of course. And these little fire patches that you have to put on the edge of the room, you want to get out of those immediately. I've had so many instances where either I have died from not moving out of that fast enough or DPS have died from not doing that. So you definitely want to keep an eye on if you're getting that out. You do want to kind of keep them all in the same area because the tornadoes, I believe, come from them. So like all of them are on that back wall over there as opposed to on the other side. So you have some room. I almost ran into a tornado right there. That was pretty bad. Also, we're getting very low, and I thankfully got a Void Shield proc. Like I said, Void Shield procs can save the day. They definitely can. I definitely feel like if we didn't have Void Shield, the spec would not be so viable in Mythic Plus. So we get more of these stupid fire pools. I think I was targeted every single time or almost every single time on this boss. It was very annoying. I'm trying to save my void shields. If you can, I would not just automatically press your void shields. I would probably keep it for that. Um, Or I probably should have PS the tank there. Oh my god. He was getting so low and he doesn't have bark skin up. But yeah, I would try to save it for this phase if possible. I do get a proc here, thankfully. But I also had evangelism, so I think that's also why I didn't really try to save it. Ariana is looking pretty good, so that's also really good. So far this is going definitely better than what the other run I had before this go. We kind of all died on the pull after this boss, so this is definitely a lot cleaner than it was before. People are using their defensives. We're not dying to these stupid tornado things. I used my Desert Prayer right there. I don't think I had any health pots, if I'm going to be honest. So my Desperate Prayer could have been better. I am using uppies here. I feel like maybe I shouldn't have. The boss is basically dead, but I probably should have saved it for another pack. I'm not a big fan of uppies, but I do use it. I just don't really like using it. I don't know. Anyways, this next pack, we have more of the dispels, so definitely need to keep those going. Um, so we're pulling this little platform here, and we're slowly gonna make our way to the next one. I believe I got some drink off there. I try to drink whenever I can as a disgrace, especially in like when you have pulls like this. I'm dotting everything right here. Um, ooh, okay, we lost. Are we lost in here? Ooh, okay, no. We so the evoker was supposed to lust there. He had a dispel on him. I did not dispel him in time, but I was kind of waiting for lust. I feel like he would have been fine. But either way, we were supposed to lust right there. But I think we lust on either on this next boss or right before it. But I'm getting those dispels out. I have a void shield proc, thankfully. Also, you got to make sure you rebuff for anybody who dies. Um, just so they can get, especially for mine, it's literally stamina. The more health, the better. More survivability, essentially. Ooh, he also got lost in that pool. I think he got a pool hit on him, unfortunately. Voger was kind of having a bad time this poll, but we still manage. I believe we only have 4 deaths, but we have enough damage, so it didn't really matter. It was definitely close at the end, but it wasn't as close as some of my other runs have been. Some of my other runs were stressful. Okay, our DK die or not DK, our DH dies there to another pool. The pool deaths were definitely kind of disappointing, but you know, we still are pushing through. We're doing enough damage. I would have probably had us reset there. Also, our mana, it's looking like trash. I rebuffed there and I use a mana pot because it's getting to be stressful. I need, and when I say need, I need a drink. So this is definitely one of the more stressful times of healing, but we'll get through it. We're just gonna try our best to not use too many resources. I'm not even like smiting or anything. I'm kind of just having the regen happen, the incompetent regen, of course. Um, and I think I'm able to get a drink here. No, no, I'm not. Okay. So thankfully this isn't too stressful, but we don't have any just spells. We just have these like poison pools that are happening, and this poison AoE. This AoE doesn't do like a whole bunch of damage, but if you're low, it definitely can be scary. It's definitely better than the dispel dot, I feel. You do have these like rogue ads that come behind you and kind of stab you a little for a little chunk of your health, so that is something to be mindful of. But so far, we're doing okay. Oh, okay. Well, another pool, I believe that was either that or one of those stealthy ads. I feel so bad for that evoker, but that is our last death. So they're thankfully knowing from here we're fine. I believe we get a drink after this though, because this is looking very bad. We have no mana whatsoever. We are trying to keep everyone alive. And I'm literally just standing there. I'm like, I don't want to do anything. We're all healthy. We're fine. I rebuff for the evoker, but stressful. Okay, we that happens though. That's not ideal. But okay. And then I get a void shield proc. And I believe we pull. Yeah, no, it's not looking good. Okay, but this is the pull before the boss, so I'm definitely able to get a drink off. But it's I'm still kind of stressful right here. I have radiance procs though. So that's good from our evangelism before. I'm trying to hold on to our evangelism. I use them, I believe, when those pools go off for the boss. But I'm trying to get as ahead as I can here. Unfortunately, that kind of sniped me there. That rogue mob or whatever. I don't know. I don't know the names of the mobs. I just know what they do. I'm not interrupting or anything. I just know I need to be mindful. DK almost kind of died there. We had a Shadowman proc though, so that's good. All right, like I said, I'm kind of creeping towards the boss so I could be in range of the tank. But I am so ready to to heal or get mana. Okay. Also, our tank he noticed, and I get a drink thankfully because this boss would definitely not be fun. But he waits for me thankfully. Appreciate the tanks that wait, even though 19s are probably not the best time to wait, but yeah. In the hierarchies, you definitely don't want to wait for anybody to get mana. That's why Dispriest kind of struggles. So these pools goes off. You really need to get out of those pools immediately too. Same thing with these. Like, if you don't get out of things, it's bad news. You will get almost one shot or one shot. They're not, your typical little pool with minimal damage. So this boss is can be fairly easy. If nothing bad happens, like if you get to the ad in time for this next kind of phase, you're good. You all kind of want to stack right here, just so you can be as close to the ad as possible. I've had it before where I've been kind of far from the second boss or from the boss essentially is, and I've missed it because I'm a priest and I have little mobility. So definitely not fair. But yes, like I kind of moved there to get out of that pool fairly quickly. I've had way too many instances where it's been bad. So I have the ads on me. I kind of go far away from the boss. I know the DPS kind of slow them or take care of them, whatever they do. I don't know. But all I know is that I avoid the ads as much as possible. I don't think I've died from those ads before. So we're all kind of grouped up here already. So we're prepared for this. I want to say it's like a grip. Yeah. The hook. Like the hook from a necrotic wake. So I'm already prepared for my pool. I always try to prepare for the pools also, just so everyone kind of gets an idea of where we're going. I think the evoker. Oh no, he moved over. I was gonna. Oh wait, no, did he? No, he has a pool right there. You really don't want to go over these pools. It's bad. So I don't have the ads on me, so I'm good. Everyone's pretty like I said, this boss is fairly easy if you keep your pools off to the side, follow the tank, kind of just pick a side and go with it. Um, the pools do reset after some time. I forget when, but yeah, they're starting to fade over there. So we're gonna be making our way back. Maybe. I don't know. Also, it makes less room if you're all the way over here. You have less room for the Banshee ad to go for you to hook. So, like I said, this fight is fairly easy. Boss is about to die, and we're gonna make our way back. Usually I'm already like on the way there, but the bear is already making his way back. So after this is gonna be thankfully I get rescued over there by our very thankful and grateful evoker. I try to drink right here if possible. I believe nope, I don't. I don't know why I don't. I definitely try to. But the ads here, this can be stressful. You have to make sure you watch out for the shrieks. Now the shrieks, they go off by the hawk striders. So I kind of pay attention to nameplates here. I think one time I ran this, I focused one of them, but you just want to make sure you don't get interrupted, because if you get interrupted, it's bad. And when they're kind of all grouped up like that, I can kind of see all the casts and prepare myself like for all the shrieks and make sure I'm not casting during that time, because like I said, it's not fun. And they don't shriek as often as you think. It's not like the mammoth in well, I no, I would say they're more like the mammoth in Mycera Caverns. It's kind of a periodic screech instead of, all the time. And I think you have like 3 or 4 of them, and they all kind of do them at the same time since we're all pulling it at the same time. They're a little padded, but yeah, I've had way scarier pulls of this specifically. But obviously, you also want to watch out for their little charge they do. Um, Kind of annoying to avoid it. But yeah, then we're going downstairs, and usually I feel like I try to get ahead. Yeah, I'm trying to get ahead as much as possible so I can drink here. I don't think I will be able to. No, he's chain pulling. Because these mobs over here are bad. They are bad news bears. So obviously they have that little whirlwind that just happened. And there is a mage. Now, if any of you have seen my TikTok videos, I had a wipe to this exact mage. Basically, these one of the ogres, they can do a little berserker thing, or a bloodlust, not a berserker. And he can do, like, if this mage gets I forget what cast it is, but he basically lights up. So now they're berserked. You saw that. I don't think they are anymore. I could be wrong. But he has like that cast. When that cast is happening, it's a big AoE, and if it's berserked, it can be bad. But our DH put darkness down. We had an AMZ right there. It went smooth, way smoother than I've had it happen before. But yeah, there's another mage in this next pack, and I believe there's one in the boss too. So a lot of what they're doing lately is kind of, preemptively giving you the boss mechanics before you get to the boss, so you can kind of learn them. I see I focused the mage there. I think it's a mage. Mystic mage. I think it's mystic. I don't know. But he kind of glows like that. So everyone's topped off right there. Um but yeah, if you're kind of low during that, it can be bad, especially if they're bloodlusted there. So yeah, they're bloodlusted now. If he if he gets that one cast off, it's kind of bad. I think they're only bloodlusted for like a few seconds, I guess. I don't know, but I'm over here like, oh my god, everyone needs to be topped off. I definitely wasn't. But yeah, everyone used a defensive there, so it worked out. So I'm definitely able to drink before this boss. I desperately need one, and the tank notices that too. Thankfully, this tank is really good at that. So I get a drink. I mean, the boss has to spawn and do his little RP thing anyways. So yeah. So on to this boss. This boss is can be stressful. Mostly for movement. Uh so you get the two kind of leaps, and then you have the stack that happens. You do get a bleed if you get a worse bleed, I feel, if you're the first leap. If you're the second one, I don't think it's as bad. I don't know. It could be just bad for me because I'm a priest, but I have noticed that. And I think it targets, yeah, the furthest player out. So here I'm like, no, I don't want to be the furthest player out. I don't want to deal with that bleed. Um, so I'm trying to make the evoker have that every time. Plus, he has more movement. I don't have that much movement. It's definitely more stressful if you don't have movement, like I don't, a priest. Um, and myself, I did not do that, so I'm over here. I desperate prayer. I think I'm fine. I kind of panic here. Thankfully the evoker helps me because I was more worried about my health there as opposed to getting in for that next stack. Like I said, thankfully the evoker helped me there. That would have been a wipe if not. I think actually no, you get feared. I don't know if it's a big damage fear though, but I use uppies there because of the ads. Try to get those down as fast as possible. The little blade storm he does towards you, like literally just avoid him and you're fine. It's not that big of a deal. Um, I guess I haven't really talked about PI. I believe I'm PIing the DK here, but I think you really want to PI the DH. I think it's more beneficial that way. Um, Also, it kind of takes a while for these shots to go out. I never really realized that, but I feel like I need to be stacked immediately. You have a little bit of time, not a lot, but you have a little area of time there. Um, yeah, in this run, I am PIing the DK, but I think since the DH is Devourer, I think he benefits a little bit more from it. So yeah, and my mana is honestly not in a bad place. I haven't really had to use it that much. I don't have any PSs though. I used them, I believe, on myself and somebody else in this fight already. Um, so I don't know. I think yes, I do evangelism there since there's that AoE. Um, so the Blade Storm really isn't that big of a thing for this boss. Like, just avoid. He's slow enough. Try not to bring it into into the group, obviously, because then they'll have to also dodge. But the ads go down fairly quickly. I've had a couple of instances where the ads aren't going down, and I'm like, what is happening? Like, come on, get the ads down. Like, I feel like he's been blade storing towards me for way too long. So we start the phase 1 mechanics again. Like I said, I'm trying to have that evoker have all those leaps because I cannot deal with that. It is stressful for me. That one leap that I had on myself, that was bad. That was really bad. So yeah, I think this is gonna be kind of a clean kill there. The DH gets it. Next. Oh, I got clipped there also. That was really bad. I knew I got clipped somewhere. See, you don't have a lot of time, but you have some time. Like I thought I was done there. And I was like, oh, I got clipped and the sphere is gonna go off on me, but it didn't, thankfully. So on to the final boss. I think the final boss is fairly easy. Um, you really want to make sure your group gets those arrows as soon as possible. So you're gonna get those initial arrows. I want to say in 20s you want to clear those immediately, but in this we don't clear them immediately as arrows pop. We do it when the wave comes through. But those second ones, you need to clear them immediately. Otherwise, it's just gonna be too much. So yeah, we start off here. We get those going. I would say if it's a 20, clear the stack immediately. I believe the DH clears his stack. I guess everybody but me. How do you think about it? Or like me and maybe the evoker don't clear our stacks. But you definitely want to try to find an arrow and claim it as your arrow. I'm over here kind of by 2. The evoker can get out of the arrows. I was kind of worried about him, but I forgot he's an evoker, so he could just go through that little area without worry. So here you definitely want to clear your stacks. So I go clear my stack because, like I said, this is like dot or bleed, whatever it is, it hurts. And then you kind of want to keep, like, I definitely could have done better with these pools. Like, he had all those covered. I could have gotten those 2 to my left. But this frontal scares me every time. It's not on me, but it gives you so much time to like figure out, oh, is it going on me? Do I need to press the defensive? It's not like I forget what other dungeon has a frontal. Oh man, all these arrows are kind of in a bad spot also. I'm definitely worried. I go and I'm like, okay, the tank needs an arrow and it's right there. So I thankfully adjust to that because I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna get an arrow if I keep doing this. It was a little stressful there. You do run out of arrows kind of quickly there since you are clearing your stack. I think we clear our stack again here. Yes, we do. Oh, I'm thinking of the caverns again. The boss that does that frontal, it immediately happens. This one, you at least get a warning, I would say. So there's that. Okay, we clear most of the pools, which is actually really, really good. Like, look at how clean this is. So we're actually, like I said, I feel like if we didn't have the damage, this definitely wouldn't have happened. But we do have basically the meta comp for this. I'm just a priest instead of like a monk. So we do have enough. I decided to uppies here. I definitely probably could have uppies right before the arrows and I would have been fine, but then I would have still had to clear my stack. So I'm like, yeah, I might as well clear my stack. But I think we have, I forget how much time we have left. It's definitely cutting it close though. But towards the end of these keys, when you have like less than a minute left, it's definitely like stressful because you're like, I don't want to mess anything up and, screw the key over. But I think we have like 20 seconds left or something. It wasn't like super, super close, but it was definitely close. There we go. Yep. All done. Got that key done. Yes, and we got 14 rating from that. So yeah, that is our 19 Windrunner Spire. As I mentioned before, this is my first 19 key that I timed. Every key is teaching me something new, and I am very excited to share the entire climb with all of you. As I mentioned at the beginning, I already have 6 out of the 8 dungeons completed at a 19, so I'll be uploading the rest of those runs soon. After that, we'll be moving on to 20s and continuing the push towards that 1% cutoff. If you have any questions about my cooldown usage, talents, routing, or why I made a certain decision during the run, leave a comment below and I'd be happy to answer them or even cover them in a future video. And if you want to watch these keys live as they happen, like I said, I am live on both Twitch and TikTok where we're pushing rating together and working towards that 1% goal. If you enjoyed this video and you want to follow the journey, I'd really appreciate if you subscribed. It really helps support the channel and helps you catch every episode as we continue this climb. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next key.